injuries. This makes me sad thinking about it. But the MVP odds, the latest.
Who's happy you got two big fellas in this list?
Nikola Jokic is plus 6,000. You got Victor Wembanyama. He's making a push for that MVP award. SGA won it last year, so that'll be our closing argument presented by Walk Up Law. Folks, you need a champion.
What's the argument, Bonte?
I'll start with you, big fella. Should the Joker be in line to win his fourth MVP?
Ooh. I'll say that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has this thing locked up. But I do think that Nikola Jokic is a runner-up because he has been, don't get bored seeing that number, the triple-double. Five straight triple-doubles. Could have had one tonight, 2 assists short. He does everything for this team. And you got to think he's playing this season he played a lot of the season without Aaron Gordon and without Peyton Watson, 2 key pieces of their team. He has had to increase his scoring. Even though he was averaging 25, he had to increase his scoring and still be the focal point to get other guys involved in the game. Nikola Jokic is a guy who could win MVP this year, every year. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the body of work that him and his team, the consistency, his scoring, his ability to lead that team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, amidst all the injuries that they've had, I think that this is his year to win the MVP again.
He's leading the league in rebounding and assists.
Well, he's averaging a triple-double. He's
Exactly.
averaging, like, don't get sick of that. And I do think it's the way that the winds blow, like people get a little bit bored. Well, you already have 3 of them. You already have 3. Who's the next? Honestly, I think some of that's the fatigue.
Yeah.
You've got 3. It's somebody else's turn. But he keeps putting up these very impressive numbers. He should certainly be in the conversation. The other conversation is he's got to reach that 65-game mark. He needs to play in 5 of the next 6 games. Yep. The Nuggets are also still fighting for seeding, so there's an imperative for him to play. But gosh, in this terrible season of injuries, let's hope he can make it through.
Come on, man.
I know. I hate that.
Where are the San Antonio Spurs in the Western Conference?
I'm fighting for number 1.
Exactly.
Fighting for number 1.
They're breathing down the back of the Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that?
Huh.
Come on.
Alien?
You got to watch
Talk
Victor,
to me,
man.
buddy.
I'm sorry. I mean, there's a reason why he's climbing up these MVP charts because the Spurs are really outdoing themselves. They're in a position right now where they are literally, challenging the Thunder for Western Conference supremacy. Nobody saw this. We saw the Spurs making the playoffs. Yeah, they're going to make the playoffs because they've been bad for so long. They'll get in the playoffs this year. They're going to be dangerous in the playoffs this year because Victor Wembanyama is like right on that job. And he's one of those guys that can affect the game both ends. He changes your entire offense when you play against him.
I was going to ask you, what's the Spurs record against OKC this season?
3-1, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm a voter, I'm not a voter this year. If I were a voter, I'm looking at Victor going, he would probably get my vote.
That's actually an interesting question. If it's most valuable player, if you were to construct a roster right now, who would you take? Jokic or Wemby? You would take Wemby.
Yes.
Oh, that's tough.
Valuable.
I don't know. I'm thinking Wemby.
Wemby.
I'm thinking Wemby.
That's actually good. That's a good conversation to have right there. And nobody's happy about this conversation than me. You talking about two big fellas to start your team with, but Victor Wembanyama, I know what he would rather win this year. He would rather win the championship.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy because when you said it at the start of the season that the Spurs might win a championship, you think these guys are too young.
Right.
And you think, well, they have to earn their stripes. But I don't think, I think that too. Young guys have to earn their stripes and go through.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever seen anything like Victor Wembanyama. His ability on the offensive end and the defensive end combined. It's going to be a very interesting playoffs. I can't wait to see. We need to get there already. We need to get through this play-in whole process and get to the playoffs already.
They're trying to cut the line this season, the San Antonio Spurs.
What?
Yes, they are.
Let's just hope the Warriors
Teams
can
are
be involved.
scared of this. In the half court against Victor Wembanyama?
It's a problem. Then you got Stephon Castle. You got De'Aaron Fox, Vassell, our old buddy Harrison Barnes. They are a problem. We didn't even bring up Jaylen Brown or Luka Doncic. They have spectacular seasons.
They really are.
Good luck to the
Yeah, I'm going to let you introduce our
two-time Emmy Award-winning Warriors Insider, Hall of Famer here at NBC Sports Bay Area. Monty Poole. Rick was a bad man.
Man, Rick Barry was, there's been a lot of social media talk about, you might have seen it lately about, somebody wanting to use the term Iceman. Everybody's like, he never heard of George Gervin? People don't know who George Gervin, people don't know who Rick Barry is. If you're a Warriors fan, know your history. I mean, this guy was Steph before Steph. I'm not saying that he's as good as Steph. He didn't change the game, but Rick Barry was an MVP player. Hall of Famer, automatic Hall of Famer. And that 75 championship does not happen, didn't even come close without him. So he was the franchise's best player, along with Wilt Chamberlain, before Steph came along.
Okay. So you said
Go.
he was that good. MVP type player. 30 plus points a game. All right. Underhand free throws, you said? 90% from the free throw line.
That's what I mean.
One of the guys who invented positionless basketball. He was touted for his versatility, his ability to score. Winning, won a championship here with the Warriors in '75. Happy birthday, Rick, and for everything that you've done for the game. If you watch that documentary, you also understand how there's different things, and the things that we get used to today, players going from team to team, negotiating their salaries, well, that's also thanks to Rick Barry. So thank you for that, too.
But the Oakland Oaks, they won a championship, even though he got hurt during the season. They ended up winning the championship in the ABA.
I haven't gotten that far in the documentary yet.
Come on. You've been stuck on episode 1 for a month. You're part of those kids, Fezzy. These young punks out here disrespecting NBA history.
So I'm one of the punks? Dang,
one of those young punks who say.
Here's the thing I say about this. That is so good that I have to Google every player in the. It's a lot of history.
How many episodes?
4 episodes, KB.
Okay.
Awesome. KB, you got to do it. You got to do it. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said Vice President of Player Health and Performance Rick Celebrity texted him today. So from him that Stephen Curry had a good session as he rehabs his runner's knee.
That's good news.
That is good news. That's from our buddy Sam Gordon of the San Francisco Chronicle. But 5 years ago today, as we go vintage NBA, Stephen Curry returned.
James Wiseman.
5-game absence. They bruised tailbone, and he went crazy against Chicago. 6 threes, 32 points as the Dubs snapped a 4-game losing streak. Look at that. It was weird times there.
This is long hair Steph, too.
Long hair Steph, no fans in the
5 years
crowd. Pandemic. Scouts spaced out. Fans watching on the video board on their laptops.
Yo, Bonte, you say this is 5 years ago, but it's crazy because Steph is moving just as good, if not better, now. Which is kind of scary for the opposing defenses and everybody who's they're watching to see if Steph comes back, what is this team going to look like? I thought the Warriors looked good in the first half tonight. I thought they showed some fight. They brought that mentality from the winning streak, the confidence. Adding Steph to this roster, it just makes everybody that much more dangerous. It makes Kristaps Porzingis more dangerous. It makes DeAnthony Melton. Maybe that's his problem. Maybe he's missing that distraction. DeAnthony Melton's not getting the most pressure from the top defenders of the other team. Now he's slotted to the second, third best defender on the team. And so maybe he can get off that way. There's so many things that Steph does for this team. I think we're all seeing it now over the last 25-plus games.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond Green misses Steph as his longtime partner.
Very much.
Podziemski misses Steph because, he makes the job easier. But nobody misses him more than Melton does. I mean, and Steph has been saying that, hey, that's the guy that I want to be my backcourt partner. We're good at this. And he's a two-way player. He can make plays on both ends. And when Steph goes down, you already lost Jimmy, you lost Steph. Who's supposed to pick up the scoring slack? People looking at Melt like, okay, you're kind of a veteran here. You're ahead of Pods, you're ahead of Guy, all these guys. We need you to kind of pick it up. And his body is kind of saying, there are some nights when I got it and some nights when I don't have it. And lately, it's been a lot of nights when he doesn't have it.
Yeah, these guys over the past 2 months, all of them are wearing down a little bit. That's natural when you go from taking the bench into the starting lineup. Relentless, because these are the guys who are left. They don't get nights off. These are the guys we talk about as young legs, fresh legs, that kind of stuff. They can take it. They want the opportunity. And while that's